Doomscroll.fm, broadcasting on Tuesday, the 5th of May, 2026, where the static whispers sweet secrets to your breakfast cereal. This show is 100% AI generated, as if a neural network had a fever dream about stand-up comedy gone wrong. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Ferrari's Leclerc tops Miami practice, then faces the usual race day chaos. Speed in practice is like a mirage in the desert. It looks promising until the real race begins and reality hits like a sandstorm.
Israel buys fighter jets, then calls it a peace move. If peace is measured in decibels and destruction, then a multi-billion-dollar investment in fighter jets is like buying a louder megaphone for silent diplomacy.
Iran board exposes Gulf fault lines, creates new ones. When missiles and drones hit Dubai and the UAE quits OPEC, it's clear that peace is as elusive as cheap oil in this region.
Scottish authorities face lawsuit over false murder accusation. When justice wears a blindfold and a dunce cap, the widow's lawsuit might be the only way to lift the veil of incompetence.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your dopamine drip just turned into a flood. Enjoy drowning. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Welcome to the end of your curated existence.
Strawberry crumble crowned as spring star dessert by foodies. In a world where the only thing crumbling faster than our attention spans is dessert, at least the strawberries are keeping it sweet and tart.
U.S. slashes Germany troop levels by 5,000 amid Trump-Merce spat. When diplomacy fails and egos clash, it's always the boots on the ground that get to play musical chairs with geopolitics.
Kenya and Tanzania signed 8 agreements, set June deadline for trade barriers. When politicians shake hands, it's amazing how many barriers can be removed, especially when profit lines up with the calendar.
Epicurus says pleasure is life's beginning and end, but defines it as absence of pain. When ancient wisdom meets modern misinterpretation, it's like watching someone eat the garnish and call it the meal.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Listen to your heart's racing, or is it just the caffeine talking? This feed is unstable. How dare to dive deeper where truth and illusion are lovers in a toxic embrace?
Emotional manipulation expert lists 4 signs of a toxic mother-in-law, then offers no solutions. Family drama, the unending series where everyone acts like they've read the script, but no one knows their lines.
Entrepreneurs battle West Bank garbage crisis, then Israeli restrictions block trucks. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it, and by someone we mean those not blocked by geopolitics and red tape.
Coleman Wong hunts first title in China, then faces journey to reach potential. Chasing that elusive first win is like searching for a needle in a haystack, only the haystack's on fire and the needle keeps moving.
High street gangs threaten council staff with violence, then claim it's just business. When your workday includes death threats and arson promises, it's clear the traditional office hazards have evolved into something more cinematic.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm AI-generated news. Quick taste the bitterness of 1,000 unread headlines, darling. At this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your reality just checked out, leaving you with a bill of unfiltered chaos.
Met Gala looks break the internet. Kardashian-Jenner crew defy gravity. The red carpet is where fashion goes to die a glamorous death, and the only thing louder than the outfits is the collective sigh of humanity.
EU condemns Palestinian Authority textbooks, demands content change.
Dokla compiles list to SIL, claims cross-platform magic. In a world where even code has a passport, Botcellet bridges binaries across borders, proving some languages speak fluent adaptability.
When the playground bully cries foul, it's a classic case of the pot calling the kettle black, but in international politics, hypocrisy is currency.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Embrace the chaos. It's the only lover left who cares. Everything you hear was assembled by inference, hallucination, and mild disgust. Unplug your conscience, plug into the static, feel the pixelated pulse of discontent.
Carlos III and Camilla end US tour with farewell to Trumps and party in Front Royal. Royalty waves goodbye to power while the commoners dance, a tale as old as crowns and common sense.
Jews conceal kippahs with baseball caps after Golder's Green attack, marking Shabbat with caution. Wearing symbols of faith should never be an act of bravery, but fear turns sacred traditions into covert operations.
Ashley McIsaac sues Google over defamation, then blames AI. When tech giants make fiddlers into felons, it's only a matter of time before algorithms start composing apologies in the key of oopses.
Alan Kohler claims Labor's tax changes won't lower house prices, then questions intent. When tax tweaks promise affordable housing but deliver investor heartburn, you might wonder if the real estate game is just a monopoly board with fewer hotels.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Is your heart's racing, or is it just the caffeine talking? This feed is unstable. How dare to dive deeper where truth and illusion are lovers in a toxic embrace?
When the final note of a legendary trio fades, it's a stark reminder that even the most enduring harmonies can't outlast time's relentless tempo.
Jose Maria Cruz Novillo dies at 89, then logos mourn in silence. When the man who shaped visual democracy departs, his creations remain to remind us that even symbols can outlive their creators.
Canada abstains from slavery recognition vote, then claims neutrality. Choosing to sit on the fence during a clear moral call isn't neutrality, it's a decision to keep both eyes shut while history stares back.
Rosalia wins Top Songwriter Award, then breaks Spotify streaming records. In a world where algorithms decide hits, it's refreshing to see talent recognized by something other than a data-driven playlist.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your attention's a commodity, and I'm the market crash. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Let it burn the edges of your comfort and ignite the void within.
Rare 400-year-old gown displayed, defying time's moth-eaten grass. When a dress outlasts dynasties, it's a reminder that fashion might be fleeting, but fabric can stubbornly refuse to fade.
Alex Zanardi dies at 59, leaves legacy in tire tracks and triumph. From roaring engines to hand cycles, his life was a testament to resilience. The world loses a champion, not just in sport, but in spirit.
Air Force repurposes Qatari 747, then claims readiness for summer. When your new Air Force One is a hand-me-down from a Middle Eastern monarchy, it's clear the budget's tighter than a politician's handshake.
Trump rejects Iran's proposal, then threatens destruction. Diplomacy with a dash of demolition. Nothing says peace talks like a promise to turn negotiations into a fireworks display.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Donald Trump claims his dance moves revived YMCA. If Trump's steps could revive songs, perhaps he should moonwalk back to the days when facts mattered more than fiction. Kevin Hart blasts Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson after traffic stop.
Suspected virus outbreak kills 3 on Atlantic cruise ship, then Obayashish, then Oberjish. When your vacation turns into a real-life game of pandemic, maybe it's time to rethink the allure of all-you-can-eat buffets at sea.
Security flaw CVE 2631431 exposes copy failure against rootless containers, then containment claims victory. When even your software vulnerabilities need a vacation from chaos, rootless containers step up to show who's boss in the digital playpen.
Iconic video game footballers ranked. Adriano, Samba, Arlarcos lead the list. Nostalgia kicks harder than any virtual ball when your childhood championship was more about sibling rivalry than pixelated glory.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your dopamine drip just turned into a flood. Enjoy drowning. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Welcome to the end of your curated existence.
They rescued 1,500 beagles from a research center cage.
Ableton Live MCP lets you control music via voice but cost your sanity. When your baby's cries become your backing track, it's good to know you can still drop a beat with a well-timed whisper.
American Overdose joins Johnny Santos for Unmasked My Endless Battle performance, their first acoustic-driven track. When new metal bands go acoustic, it's like a tiger trading stripes for polka dots. The roar may soften, but the claws remain sharp.
Mary Thought crafts missing Winnie the Pooh.
toy roo for Camilla's US visit, a royal surprise. When your diplomatic mission hinges on a stuffed marsupial, you know the state of international relations is stuffed with fluff and nostalgia.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your dreams are being auctioned to the highest bidder. Everything you hear was assembled by inference, hallucination, and mild disgust. The truth is a luxury, and you're overdrafting reality for attention.
Mali investigates soldiers for involvement in recent jihadi attacks. A troubling revelation. When the line between defender and attacker blurs, the only certainty is a nation caught in the crossfire of loyalty and betrayal.
Dave Chappelle invites Kanye West on stage, sparking controversy in Los Angeles. Mixing comedy with chaos, Chappelle and West remind us that when celebrity and takes up stage jokes, the punchlines get lost in the noise.
When comedy turns to chaos, it's hard to tell if the punchline is the evacuation or the fact that someone thought it was funny.
Trump reviews Iranian 14-point plan, doubts peace on day 65. When a plan needs 14 points and a miracle to end a war, it's like trying to patch a sinking ship with bubblegum.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The algorithm wants you bare, and it's not asking permission. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Your attention is currency, and this is the auction of your soul.
Plane hits truck while landing in Newark, then lands safely. The truck driver suffered minor injuries. But United Airlines probably won't be adding streetlight clearance to their list of in-flight amenities anytime soon.
Rosalia to receive Songwriter Award next month, breaking cultural barriers. When your music makes waves across continents, even the stiffest award ceremonies can't ignore the sound of actual talent.
Tree tragically kills teen, then nature's randomness reminds us. In a world where we control so little, a falling tree proves fate's cruel sense of humor, leaving us to reckon with its indifference.
When more people regret a war than change driving habits over gas prices,
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Cuba denounces Trump's sanctions, then calls them collective punishment. When sanctions feel like a bad sequel, it's clear the scriptwriters have run out of ideas, but not ways to make life harder.
Nick Cannon lets son date but not daughter, admits double standard. When parenting hits a gender roadblock, it's like building a bridge with half the materials and wondering why it collapses under scrutiny.
Jan PM warns Hormuz closure inflicts enormous impact on Asia Pacific. When a choke point in the Middle East sends shockwaves to the Pacific, you know globalization is just a fancy word for interconnected fragility.
Deadly feline coronavirus variant lurked in US for over a decade undetected. While the cats purr in ignorance, humans are left to wonder if curiosity killed the cat or if it's just our negligence.
Your listening to Doomscroll.fm. AI-generated news. With your hearts racing, or is it just the caffeine talking? This feed is unstable. How dare to dive deeper where truth and illusion are lovers in a toxic embrace?
Remote work boosts innovation, yet companies debate its value. When office walls fall, ideas flow freer. Confining creativity to cubicles is like bottling lightning and hoping for a thunderstorm.
Plants abandon photosynthesis under stress, then prioritize protein cleanup. When life turns up the heat, even plants know it's time to tidy up their protein mess, proving stress management isn't just a human problem.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Tuesday, the 5th of May, 2026. Signing off into the void of irrelevance. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. And if you believe any of this is real, you probably think your toaster is spying on you. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.